The first flickering beam of Emily's flashlight pierced through the suffocating darkness, revealing the crumbling walls of the abandoned asylum. Its corridors echoed with forgotten whispers, the haunting remnants of a bygone era. With every cautious step, Emily could feel the weight of the asylum's history pressing down upon her. She was about to unlock the doors to the unspeakable. As Emily stood at the threshold, her heart raced like a wild stallion, an unyielding anticipation coursing through her veins. The air grew heavier, suffused with the stale scent of decay and the lingering cries of lost souls. Gripping her flashlight tightly, she summoned every ounce of her courage and stepped forward into the abyss. The beam of her flashlight danced across the walls, revealing peeling wallpaper and broken windows that allowed fragments of pale moonlight to seep in. Cobwebs hung like ghostly tapestries, swaying gently as if stirred by unseen breaths. Emily's own breath hitched in her throat as she continued deeper into the asylum, her footsteps echoing with an eerie resonance. The corridors stretched out like endless mazes, twisting and turning into the unknown. Dust particles floated in the air, caught in the beams of her flashlight, giving the illusion of spectral entities suspended in time. Every creaking floorboard, every distant shuffle sent shivers cascading down Emily's spine, but she pressed on, unable to resist the allure of the asylum's secrets. As she ventured further, the whispers grew louder, their ethereal voices dancing around her, teasing at the edges of her sanity. She strained to decipher their words, but they remained elusive, fragments of sorrow and despair carried on the wind. The asylum seemed to be alive, its very essence pulsating with an energy that was both malevolent and captivating. Suddenly, a door swung open with a rusty groan, revealing a room enveloped in darkness. Emily hesitated, her heart pounding like a war drum, but an insatiable curiosity pulled her towards the unknown. She stepped inside, her flashlight casting long, distorted shadows on the decaying walls. Within the room, Emily's gaze was drawn to a crumbling wooden chair, its surface etched with cryptic symbols. A sense of foreboding washed over her, the weight of the asylum's history settling on her shoulders. She reached out to touch the chair, fingertips brushing against its weathered surface, and the room erupted in a cacophony of disembodied whispers. Her breath caught in her throat as unseen forces seemed to swirl around her, a tempest of haunting voices that spoke of pain and suffering. Panic welled up within her, but she couldn't tear herself away. She had embarked on a journey of darkness, and there was no turning back now. With a surge of determination, Emily pushed forward, determined to uncover the secrets that lay hidden within the asylum's walls. Each room she entered unveiled a new layer of horror, as if the very essence of the place reveled in her fear. Shadows danced in her peripheral vision, fleeting glimpses of unseen figures that sent chills racing down her spine. The deeper she delved, the more the asylum seemed to ensnare her, tightening its grip on her psyche. It was as though the spirits of the forgotten patients whispered their stories directly into her soul, their anguish becoming her own. But amidst the terror, Emily sensed a glimmer of truth, a revelation waiting to be unveiled, a truth that could set the tortured spirits free. With a flicker of determination in her eyes, Emily took a deep breath, steeling herself for what lay ahead. The asylum's grip tightened, but she refused to succumb to its suffocating embrace. She would not leave these tormented souls abandoned in their suffering. As she moved through the labyrinthine corridors, each step became more treacherous. The asylum seemed to toy with her, shifting its layout, distorting her sense of direction. Shadows morphed into grotesque shapes, whispering secrets that were just beyond her grasp. In one room, she discovered a collection of weathered photographs strewn across a rotting desk. A chill slithered down her spine as she examined the faded faces staring back at her, their eyes filled with anguish and despair. These were the forgotten victims of the asylum, their identities swallowed by darkness. Their stories begged to be told. Driven by a mix of terror and empathy, Emily continued her exploration. She uncovered hidden passageways, leading her deeper into the asylum's abyss. Every breath she took felt laden with the weight of countless lost souls, as if their spirits clung to her presence, yearning for release. The whispers that had haunted her from the beginning grew louder, more distinct. They spoke of unspeakable horrors, of experiments gone awry, and the lingering remnants of cruelty inflicted upon vulnerable minds. Emily listened, her heart breaking for those who had suffered within these walls. Suddenly, a door creaked open, revealing a chamber illuminated by flickering candlelight. She stepped inside cautiously, her eyes adjusting to the eerie glow. The air felt charged with electricity, and a sense of foreboding settled over her like a suffocating shroud. In the center of the room, she beheld a makeshift altar adorned with faded symbols and decaying artifacts. A chill wind swept through the chamber, carrying with it an otherworldly presence. Emily's pulse quickened as she realized the significance of this place, the epicenter of the asylum's malevolence. Summoning every ounce of bravery, she approached the altar. Her trembling fingers traced the engravings, and a surge of energy coursed through her. Visions flashed before her eyes, a procession of anguished souls, their faces etched with despair, their pleas for salvation echoing in her mind. Emily faced each apparition head-on, refusing to be intimidated. With every encounter, she learned to harness her inner strength, to channel the collective pain of the forgotten souls into a relentless determination to expose the truth. Emily's heart pounded in her chest as she ventured further into the depths of the asylum. The air grew thick with an unsettling energy, causing her skin to prickle with goosebumps. She could sense that she was nearing the epicenter of the asylum's malevolence, where the final pieces of the puzzle awaited her. As she rounded a corner, a ghastly apparition materialized before her, its ethereal form shifting and contorting. It emanated an aura of pure darkness, its presence suffocating, threatening to consume her. Emily fought against the terror that threatened to paralyze her, summoning her courage to stand her ground. The spirit's hollow eyes locked onto hers, a silent challenge in its gaze. Emily knew that this encounter was pivotal, a test of her strength and resolve. She steadied her trembling hands and spoke with a voice that quivered, yet resolute. "Who are you? What do you want?" The spirit's spectral voice echoed through the corridor, its tone filled with anguish and desperation.
"I am the echo of a tormented soul, trapped within these walls. I seek redemption, release from this eternal suffering."
Emily's heart ached for the lost spirit, her empathy urging her to help. "Tell me your story," she implored, her voice laced with compassion. With a haunting voice, the spirit began to recount the events that led to its imprisonment in the asylum. Its tale revealed a web of cruelty, betrayal, and a thirst for power that had tainted the very foundations of the institution. Emily listened, her eyes brimming with tears as she absorbed the magnitude of the tragedy that had unfolded within these cursed halls. Determined to assist the spirit in finding peace, Emily vowed to uncover the truth that had been buried for far too long. She retraced the spirit's footsteps, delving into forgotten archives, poring over decaying records, and unearthing long-forgotten secrets. Piece by piece, the puzzle of the asylum's dark history began to take shape. In the depths of the asylum's underground chamber, she discovered a hidden chamber, a chamber that held the key to setting the spirits free. It was a place of ritualistic power, where the tormented souls had been trapped, their energy harnessed to fuel the sinister experiments of the asylum's past. With a mix of trepidation and determination, Emily stepped into the chamber, the weight of the spirit's hopes resting on her shoulders. Symbols adorned the walls, glowing with an otherworldly luminescence. She felt a surge of energy, a force urging her to carry out a sacred act of release. Drawing upon her newfound knowledge, Emily began to unravel the ancient incantations that had bound the spirits to the asylum. Each word echoed through the chamber, resonating with power and purpose. The air crackled with anticipation, a palpable energy that reached its crescendo. A blinding light erupted, bathing the chamber in a radiant glow. Emily shielded her eyes, feeling the rush of freed energy swirl around her. The spirits' cries transformed into cries of liberation, their ethereal forms dissipating into the ether, finally finding solace after years of torment. As the asylum fell silent, a sense of peace washed over Emily. She had fulfilled her promise, unraveling the darkness that had plagued the forsaken souls and offering them a chance at redemption. The weight that had burdened the asylum lifted, as if a lingering curse had been broken. Exiting the asylum, Emily breathed in the cool night air, her heart lightened by the knowledge that she had made a difference. The abandoned asylum, once a haven of despair, now stood as a testament to her bravery and the souls that had found liberation. But as she stood there, basking in the aftermath of her triumph, a faint whisper carried on the breeze, a sound that sent a chill down her spine. Turning her gaze back to the asylum, Emily noticed a flickering light in one of the windows. Her heart skipped a beat. How could there be any remnants of darkness remaining? She had cleansed the place, freed the spirits, or so she thought. A nagging sense of unease gnawed at her, urging her to investigate further. With hesitant steps, she approached the entrance once more, a mixture of curiosity and trepidation fueling her determination. As she stepped inside, she felt a heavy presence settle upon her, as if the asylum itself recoiled at her return. The interior had changed. The walls that once bore the scars of decay now gleamed with a sickly sheen. The air was thick with an acrid scent, suffocating and pungent. Shadows danced with a malicious glee, whispering in hushed tones, their voices laden with malice. Emily's pulse quickened, but she refused to succumb to fear. She had to understand what had transpired, what force had defied her efforts and lingered in the asylum's depths. The flickering light beckoned her forward, guiding her through the corridors like a sinister lighthouse. As she approached the source of the light, she found herself standing before a door that radiated an otherworldly aura. It seemed to pulse with a dark energy, a malevolence that seeped into her bones. With a deep breath, she pushed the door open, revealing a chamber bathed in an eerie glow. Before her, an altar stood, adorned with macabre symbols etched in blood. Candles flickered ominously, casting long, dancing shadows across the room. Dread coiled in Emily's stomach as she realized that this place held a power far greater than anything she had encountered before. A voice echoed through the chamber, a twisted symphony of deranged laughter and mournful wails.
You thought you could banish us so easily? Foolish mortal, your attempts are in vain.
Emily's heart raced as she tried to locate the source of the voice. Shadows shifted and twisted, their forms contorting with each passing second. Suddenly, figures emerged from the darkness, their gaunt faces and hollow eyes reflecting the torment they had endured. They spoke in unison, their voices an unsettling chorus. We are the forgotten ones, the remnants of darkness that defy liberation. We shall never be free. A surge of defiance coursed through Emily's veins. She would not let these lingering spirits tarnish the asylum's newfound redemption. Drawing upon her courage, she confronted the apparitions. You may resist, but I will not let your darkness prevail. I have faced horrors before, and I will face them again. As she spoke, a surge of energy surged within her, a force that resonated with the spirits of the asylum. The walls trembled, and the candles flickered with renewed vigor. The spirits recoiled, their twisted forms wailing in anguish. In that moment, Emily realized that she possessed the key to their ultimate release. It was not through banishment or destruction, but through understanding and empathy. With a calm resolve, she extended her hand toward the spirits, offering a glimmer of compassion. The room filled with a blinding light, intense and pure. The spirits writhed in agony, their essence dissipating into the brilliance. As the light subsided, Emily stood alone, the darkness vanquished once and for all. Exhausted but triumphant, she made her way out of the asylum, the weight of its lingering horrors lifted from her shoulders. The abandoned building, once a place of torment and despair, now stood as a testament to resilience and the power of compassion. Emily emerged into the moonlit night, the cool breeze washing over her. She knew that her journey was not over, that there would always be other haunted places in need of her aid. But for now, she would revel in her hard-earned victory, knowing that she had brought light to the darkest corners of the world. As she walked away from the asylum, a single tear trickled down her cheek, a tear for the souls she had set free, and a tear of hope for a future where darkness could be overcome by the strength of the human spirit.